So I'm a heart rate guy. I do most of my runs monitoring my heart rate, and I've always done it with a watch, either my Galaxy watch in some of the early days. Lately I've got a Garmin Forerunner 245 I work, and those are good. They work pretty good, but there are some caveats with those. So I decided I wanted to maybe go to the next level with my heart rate monitoring and invested some money in a chest heart rate strap device, particularly the Garmin HRM Pro. And I'm going to talk to you about that today. Welcome to the Ageless Runner. I'm Ralph. Hey, I'm all about helping you have a safe and healthy running life at any age, but especially as you grow older. So watches work pretty good. There's really nothing wrong with them as long as you wear them according to the manufacturer's directions. You need to avoid your wrist bone. You need to make sure they're tight. But the way they work optically. And if you've ever looked at one, you look at the back, you'll see this green light flashing on the back there. Our body absorbs that green light. Different parts of our body absorb it different amounts. For example, the bone will absorb so much of the green light. Blood absorbs a different level. So using the magic sensors they have in there optically, the watch will flash that green light, look at the blood flowing through our capillaries, and measure our pulse. And it works pretty good, especially at rest. There's been studies done at rest. The wristwatch heart rate monitors are within a couple of % of an electrocardiogram, an ECG. So they work pretty good. The issue happens when you start doing moderate exercises. You're moving around, running around, or lifting or whatever. Then it becomes less accurate. It can move, it can slide, bounce around. And one study I looked at said it could be off as much as 30%, again, compared to an ECG and electrocardiogram. Again, that's probably the worst case. So I said, I decided to invest in a Garmin. So this is my Garmin. I bought it. It's my money. So Garmin did not sponsor this review. They did not give me this. It's all mine. So it's completely my opinion on what I think about this. But the heart rate chest straps work a little different. They actually work off electrical signals. They have a couple of sensors on the back here, these pads, that when they attach to your chest are measuring electrical activity, just like an ECG, just like an electrocardiogram. Now, just like your watch needs to be in good contact, so does a chest rate strap, but it's very snug, and your sweat actually helps. The sweat provides some moisture between the sensors in your body and provides good conductivity. I actually will wet mine first when I put it on, put a little moisture on it to start off before I start sweating, but they're much more accurate. They don't bounce around, they don't slide around, so they give you a much better heart rate reading. Now these do work wirelessly. In other words, you need to pair them with something. Now they use this ANT protocol, ANT, that's kind of a wireless network that Garmin developed. Other smartwatches and devices use it too. So this connects with any ANT device, but also has Bluetooth. So you can connect it to any Bluetooth watch or phone. I actually connected to my phone to see if I could do that, and I could. And the reason I got the Garmin is because I have a Garmin watch. There are other chest heart rate strap devices out there. I wanted a seamless experience, so I bought the Garmin, and it connected very easily to my Garmin Forerunner 245. Two things you may want to wonder about is moisture resistance. This thing is rated to 5 atmospheres, which is about 50 meters. So you can swim in it. In fact, there's a whole section in the manual about using it when you swim, but you can swim in it. Obviously, if it's raining when you run, that will not be an issue. So it's very good moisture resistance. Battery life, you wonder how often do I need to replace the battery? Well, Garmin says on their website that if you use it an hour a day, it'll last about a year. So it's not like something you're going to have to be changing the battery every few months, maybe once a year. And if you use it less than 7 hours a week, you may get longer than a year. Now you may ask yourself, well, why do I want to spend all this money just for heart rate? Well, you do get more than just heart rate in this Garmin sensor. It also does running dynamics. Running dynamics are other performance indicators about your run. Things like vertical oscillation, and I'll show you a few here in a minute. So you do get more information. I assume they have some accelerometers in there. You can get more information from it. Now this, of course, pairs with your watch, and through the watch, it connects to the Garmin Connect app. If you have a Garmin, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have a Garmin, Garmin Connect is the app that records the activity and tracks the activity. You know, my Galaxy watch is called Galaxy Health, I believe. I'm sure Apple for the iWatch has something similar to that. So it's just the app that records all the data. And so you can go into Garmin Connect either on your phone or on the website that I'm going to show you here in a second and look at all your data. So let's just jump into the Garmin Connect app. So the Garmin Connect app will track your run. Of course, you can get elevation, pace, and heart rate, which even comes with a watch. You don't need the chest strap for that, but I believe once you have the chest strap, it's using the stuff in the chest strap to record pace, heart rate, and elevation. So you can see here's heart rate. Again, it's real-time heart rate. You can scroll along and look at what is my heart rate at different points in the run. You can pick which charts I want to look at, and there's a selection there. I'm not going to cover all these, but we'll cover some of them. So we can start with like elevation. I don't pay too much attention to that because where I run, it's pretty flat. Pace, of course. You can see I take walk breaks. This is run, walk, run, which is why some of the data you look at here for averages you don't want to pay attention to. For example, heart rate. Says my average heart rate was 130, but again, I walk. So the average heart rate is going to be skewed down because when I walk, my heart rate slows down. And then we have stride length, and it gives me an average stride length, but again, I walk. So you can scroll along here and look at my stride length as I'm running. And it seems in the middle of the run here, I'm running about 0.83 meters, 0.76, 0.79. That's somewhere around 30 to 31 inches. Running cadence, again, you can track your cadence. This actually prompted me from an earlier run. I noticed that my running cadence was too low, so I started using my metronome again. So again, you get some data like that to decide, do I want to change something about the way in the way I'm running? Vertical oscillation is kind of an interesting parameter. It's the measure of how much you bounce up and down, how much you go up and down. And they recommend that you be less than 6.5 centimeters. They're saying that's good, which is a purple dot. And fortunately for me, most of mine are purple, so I don't move up and down too much. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Why I do that, I don't know. It's not something I consciously do. Just my running style. It looks like I'm bouncing around 5.8 to 6 centimeters. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and finding it interesting, please go down and hit that like icon and consider subscribing also. Thank you. Then there's ground contact time. That tells you how much time are your feet spending on the ground. How long is that going on? And Garmin tells us that most experienced runners are less than 300 milliseconds. So we like to see something for me that's, green at best, be under 300 milliseconds. So I have some orange and some green. As I page along here, I see I'm running about 270, 280, so I'm under the 300 seconds. So I'm not an elite by any means, but I do have the characteristics of maybe a more experienced runner. And they have another parameter they call contact time balance, which is the difference between how much your left foot spends on the ground and your right foot. And I'm just mildly unbalanced. So my left foot spends a little longer on the ground than my right foot. I'm a little unbalanced there. What that means and do I care? Do I want to do anything about it? I don't know at this time. I need to research it. And of course, it shows run, walk time. You can see when I run and when I walk. It tells you the run time, the walk time. Again, these are all running dynamics. Now, you can look at the averages. I don't pay attention to the averages because I run, walk, and the running and the walking is going to skew it. So, my steps per minute, for example, are going to be lower because I walk. Now, of course, this strap here is adjustable depending on your chest. I've got mine adjusted to where it feels fairly snug, doesn't move around, doesn't slide around. If you're a big-chested person, they do make extenders. You can get an extender. So I like it. I've used it for maybe 3 or 4 runs. It gets real-time data. It updates very quickly. And I've been using the running dynamics to look at some of my parameters or anything I want to change going forward. As I said, I'm working on my cadence again because I noticed my cadence had dropped down a little bit. So this thing retails, if you go to the Garmin site, it retails for about $130. However, you can get it cheaper on Amazon. I bought mine in the middle of August. It was like $93.50. I looked today, it's about 3 weeks later, it's $106. So again, this is I'll call it a luxury item. It's a splurge item. There's nothing wrong with your watch. Make sure your watch, if your track heart rate is mounted properly on your wrist, according to the manufacturer's recommendation, it ought to suffice. So, but if you want to go and be a little more accurate, get a little more information about your run, then a chest rate strap may be something for you. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please scroll down and click that like icon. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you stick around. Thanks again and happy running.